It's FT Live, the spring training tour engineered by Fastenal. Check out fastenal.com for more information. They're on the calendar. So are the Cleveland Guardians. Royals camp done. Guardians camp now. A's camp tomorrow. Dodgers Friday. Saturday and Sunday shows. Don't forget it. We'll be live. Mariners camp and Rangers camp. Also, AJ, you have double duty tonight, a doubleheader, and you might be able to swing a cocktail while you're doing that doubleheader. First, a little look at Guardians camp this morning, bright and early, getting those stretches in. AJ, did you like this part of the job?
I love this part of the job. The only problem with the Guardians is they had a meeting.
Part. Not sure if we can hear it.
Yeah.
But...
Can you not hear me?
I got you. I got you now.
We got you now.
You know, I did not like stretching because you never see a cheetah stretch before he eats an antelope. So, no. But it was a good we had this conversation with a couple of the Fastenal people that actually are in camp today with us. They asked me the same question. Did you like the stretching? And you know what the stretching was for? It's changed now. It used to be, what'd you do last night? What was your fun? What'd you do after practice? Did you get a nap in? All that stuff. Now these guys are too serious and they're all like, no one's laughing. They're all just like perfect high knees. We got to do the high knees. We got to do the butt kickers. You know, we got to do all that stuff. We used to be just a free for all. Now they have whistles and all. It's crazy now.
Eyewash. It's eyewash.
Well,
if you're not out there, if you're going out there to prepare, you're cooked. Those dudes they have a sweat going before they get out there. If they're strolling out like Jimmy Rollins style, where it's like he gets his uniform on at like 3:59 and he's out there by 4, you're cooked. Like that's not how it rolls.
Jimmy Rollins catching strays for just being able to hop
Seriously.
on the field and do his thing.
Oh, he knows. He was the latest on-time person ever. Jimmy, you're listening? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You were like Superman. Somehow you came into the field, never a panic in the world.
What about this? Is this good?
Ready to go. Like you were all ready. It was crazy. Never seen anything like it. Always ready to get there on the field.
Amazing. Hey, we're getting our guest ready, so we're moments away. AJ's on the scene. So you're going to give us, well, actually, I'm going to get the okay from the big boss behind the scenes when we're good, but should be any moment now. I believe we're good. So we're going to talk to a number of Guardians, Cade Smith later, but we'll start with another arm, Slade Cecconi. So AJ, you want to take it away and say hello to Slade for us?
I'm going to let him introduce himself here. No, I just need Slade, who we've had on before, right? But yeah, he went to shake my hand, and I just need him to go pick a. No, not your left hand, your right hand. Look how dirty this thing is.
I just got straight off the field. Come on.
It's so dirty, like.
Hey, but he touched it. It isn't sticky. No,
is that spider tack?
No sticky stuff.
Is that the Guardian spider tack? Is that what it is?
From a couple moons ago, maybe, but
it was the
hair gel.
Yeah, it was
beard balm.
It's
that's why I started growing one out.
Delaware mud. Yeah, but he went to shake my hand. I'm like, I'm not touching that thing. I don't know what that thing's been. It's all dirt.
It is sanitized, allegedly.
That's worse, actually. That just moves the germs around instead of actually killing them.
You were talking about being an old timer, and you're worried about germs.
I don't want no flu from you. What it was on that ball. How's camp going so far? We were just talking about stretching. We saw you guys out here stretching. Did you do anything today other than stretch? Your day's over?
I stretched. I threw. I did a little shadow work on the mound, and now I'm here, and then I go home. It's pretty easy for the first few weeks. You should have been a pitcher.
I should have been a pitcher, Kratz. I mean, think about it. It's 11 o'clock. He's like, I'm already done. And then it get on the field till 9:30.
Yeah, the days where you don't get on the mound as a pitcher, it's kind of like you got to find stuff to do. That's why so many of us like playing cards. Just kill time.
I mean, I always ask this to position players.
I wish.
We were over at Royals camp yesterday, and we talked to Jack Caglione, who threw 100 from the left side. And it's like, do you ever look at pitchers and go, man, their life must suck? Do you ever look at position players and go, man, their life must suck? They have to do all this stuff that doesn't look as fun as being a pitcher.
I think it looks more fun than being a pitcher, but it's way more difficult. It's way more fun, but it's also like I'm impressed every day with what some of these guys can do. Like I watch these guys turn around 100-mile-an-hour heaters like on day one. It's like how do you show up ready to do that? But they're just built different now.
What do you do then? It's 11 o'clock. You're going to go in. I'm assuming you're going to take a shower.
Yeah, I mean, I stick around here for a while. I like watching the bullpens, watching the live BPs. I'm still a self-proclaimed pitching nerd, so I like looking at all the
But
metrics on
are
everybody.
you a trash talker? Do you sit behind like
Let's say-
five VPs and your boys are out there? I don't know.
Oh
today.
yeah. I'll
Let's
say
say
yes, he
five
did on
people.
a check swing. Like I'm playing
Someone
umpire.
ticket, or you like, I got you.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
They yell when they hit homers. I got to yell when our guy punches somebody out.
Okay, I can live with that. All right, then. So you're out of here by 11:30. Then
Mhm.
after all that nonsense is done, so then what?
Usually, I would try to fish. I do that a
can't
lot
fish
more.
in Arizona.
Arizona, exactly. If you want to go catch carp, you can go to the community pond with some bread, but like that gets old pretty quick. I've tried a few times.
Kayaking on your Instagram
Yeah,
and all that. So
Yeah. I don't have the kayak out here. If I did, I'd be going down the Salt River a couple times a week, but it's a lot to ship that thing
you
out
can buy
here.
one,
could.
There's like a Dick's over there. There's a Cabela's.
Yeah, but then I gotta sell it before I leave or bring it with me.
If
And then,
you're smart, you could just leave it here and next year use the same one.
see, this is a veteran right here.
Right.
Florida, Miami. Florida, Miami.
Hang it on
Miami
hang it on
is
the
in
fence.
Florida.
Yeah, Miami is in Florida.
Miami's
but
its
AJ doesn't
own-
know his
Yeah,
tier.
it's its own like place.
When you watch
Prep school, public school. How's that?
Oh yeah,
Prep
Oh,
school,
whatever.
you
Oh,
guys
here
go to
we go.
TFA. That's private. Come on.
I didn't even go there. Dr. Phillips, baby.
Oh, they went to Dr. Phillips. Okay.
No, I went to
You
Dr.
okay?
Phillips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harvard of the
Slade,
South.
when you
if I
watch-
remember correctly.
It's more of like Harvard, Princeton combined of the South.
Got it.
Of South Orlando.
when your day's done. Your day's done now. We already hit on that plenty. When you watch the minor leaguers, which are all the dudes that are walking by to the clover leaf, do you say, man, I want to tell those guys what? Like, what's the one thing you'd want to tell them now that you're an established big leaguer?
I would say be excited when you fail. Get excited by failure because baseball is a game of failure. And the longer you play it, the more you're going to fail. And every time you fail, that's just another opportunity for you to learn something that's going to make you better the next time you play. So I think that's the biggest thing.
By the way, Kratz, I have to say this. You mentioned the minor leaguers walking by. So the big leaguers here have different jerseys. Slade doesn't have his jersey on, but it's a clear difference on the back, right? Which is fine. But I didn't know that is minor league camp already started?
I don't think it's officially kicked off quite yet.
Because it's very obvious who are the big leaguers and who are the support players, which is the minor league guys here for big league camp. Because even when you guys were stretching, you're like, this side was big leaguers, that side was different.
I think it's like the full like lettering and then the white lettering is what they do. I know some teams do like gray pants, white pants. I think it's more of just an organizational thing than like a hierarchy thing. Hell no.
Like, before you talk to somebody, you say,
hold on, let me see.
Oh wait, what
let me
kind of lettering do you have?
No, I wore that lettering for a lot longer than I've worn the new lettering. So
Hey, what did you work on this offseason? What's your relationship like with your pitching repertoire heading into camp?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see as many big differences as you saw last year with my not only repertoire but my mechanics. Everything's going to look very similar. We worked on sharpening up some of the off speed, just as you're probably going to hear every pitcher say at this point, sharpening their secondary stuff and looking to get more chase and more whiff and more weak contact with that stuff, and also sharpening up the attack plan and figuring out what are my weak contact pitches that I use early in the counts, what are my whiff pitches that I use late in the counts, trying to paint that picture. Because last year was a lot of trial and error for me because I had so much new stuff going into the year. So now that we have so much data on, my success and my failure from last year, it's going to be a easier picture to paint this year.
Do you feel like you're able to blend enough of you said self-proclaimed baseball nerd, blend what you're seeing in your pitch shapes to where their swing plane is or what you're seeing in game? Or when you're not seeing it in game, does it just, oh crap, just got to go off the rails and try to figure it out?
The simple answer is absolutely not. I'm not that good. I wish I was, but no, when I get on the mound, I have to compete and I have to work with what I got that day. And I got to trust my catchers are going to make those adjustments for me. If they see that my cutter's really sharp and maybe my sinker's a little flat, they're gonna talk to me between innings and say, "Hey, we're gonna call the cutter more and we're gonna go to spin." If my sinker's really sinking and my four seam's really riding, it's like, "Hey, we might go a little firmer than the attack plan said today." And my job is just to throw the ball where they put the glove and, execute what they asked me to execute.
What's your relationship as far as Cade Smith? I want to throw your four seam fastball, right?
Yeah.
Ivy, I want to throw your off speed pitches. Do you go to those guys and say, "Hey, how do you throw that? How do you hold it? And can you help me shape my pitches differently?" Not only Carl Willis, who's obviously been a pitching coach, I feel like for like 50 years, right?
Close, actually. I think he's actually pretty close to that number.
I mean,
He's
I
been
saw
around
him
for a
earlier,
while.
and he came up to me and gave me a hug, and I said, "Carl, why do people talk so good about you?" And he's like, "Well, you were an asshole. They say bad things about you." And I was like, "Well, exactly. I can't figure it out." But he's been doing this forever. So do you go to him? Do you go to your other pitchers? Who do you go to when you say, "Oh, I want to work on your two seamer or your four seamer"?
I think personally, I try to find guys that match my profile of pitch and mechanics. Like, I naturally pronate, so I wouldn't go to Bybee to ask him about how he throws something because he's a natural supinator. So the ball's gonna come out of our hand differently. Cade Smith. Nobody can do what he does with the baseball, but I can still ask those guys questions about the mental game or about their preparation routines. If I were to go try to find like a pitch or a movement profile that I want to I try to find somebody that matches my delivery a little bit closer, and then I can work on, okay, how do you manipulate the baseball based on how you move, how you do this. But there's certainly things you can learn from everybody. I mean, everybody has their specialty areas in this game where they excel, and maybe it might not be like a direct correlation to me, but I can learn something from them that will apply to me.
So you're watching your team. I'm sure you guys have a group thread. Did you guys send messages to each other when other teams keep signing guys? Or are you resident to the fact that, you know what, Guardians are going to be who we are, we're just going to play, and the team that we have on the field is the team? Or do you get a little jealous that the biggest move was just an extension for Hosey?
I think that group, that especially the whole team last year, but especially that September group became so close through what we accomplished. And going into the offseason, we were pretty excited when we found out that group was going to be the team that we went with next year, because we bonded so tightly. We formed really, really close relationships, and the banter day one was there. The jokes are flying. The focus is intense. So I don't think we didn't have any conversations about it. We were just excited that the same group of guys that brought us to a division title were going to be back in the locker room.
I like it. Before we let you go, I have to ask you this. Can we need the four shot?
Oh,
please.
gosh.
So
where are we going with
there's
this?
Scott Kratz. So Scott went to Miami, like you went to Miami.
Yes.
The other day we had Trisha Whitaker on.
Okay.
Used to be the Rays sideline. She does Apple TV. I don't know if you've met her yet.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
she went to Indiana.
Okay. I see where it's
covered from the Indiana football game.
So Tim Herron is an Indiana Hoosier.
CJ
The answer is no.
Hurricane.
CJ, yeah, we got more Miami guys. So I mean, Tim's been good about it. He's
he has made you wear. Do you guys have a bet? Did he make you wear it?
We didn't have a bet. No, he didn't wear us out too much about it. I know JJ, our travel secretary, wore some Indiana stuff and gave me a little crap day one, but they've taken it well. I think they embody that Curt Cignetti mentality of let your on the field stuff do the talking.
How
I
would
was really
Miami
proud
done?
when Miami played football.
What if Miami won?
I mean, it would have been a circus in the best way possible, and I would have been a big part of it because I love it. I feed off it.
The difference is the Curt Cignetti, hardworking, keep your mouth shut, do your job. Miami.
Hey, Miami is hardworking. We just don't keep our mouth shut.
Style.
We work hard, but we like to talk our shit sometimes.
Yeah. And also, as AJ actually said the other day, it was 25-year-olds against 20-year-olds. So that's a big difference
Yes,
too.
we had a
right?
lot of old men on that team, some grown men.
But Carson Beck is like 35. So I mean, at some point.
Well,
he
besides
has to
him,
bring
the
him
rest
in.
of IU though. No,
That's
AJ,
true.
didn't you
That's
say
true.
IU's team is like the oldest team or whatever in
They were-
football?
They were pretty old. I mean, it's
Yeah.
college football is semi-pro football now. It's kind of like college
Yeah.
baseball with the NIL. Now it's just
How much do you give to Miami to keep their NIL going? I know JD hit you up.
They made so much money just
Haven't
now.
gotten
They
there
don't
yet.
need Slade.
Haven't
They
gotten
don't
there
need
yet.
your money. They don't need my money. I know from a first source, they made dumb amounts of money. They're good for a while now. So everyone's
okay.
good.
That's
You can
good to
stop
know. So now I have
worrying.
that in my back pocket when I get the.
JD's calling you at
Text.
some point.
It'll
Redo
probably
the locker room or do something.
They just redid the locker room. It looks great.
Oh,
it
so
looked
you're
really
good then.
good. I'm good. I didn't get called for that. So yeah, I
Sorry,
think they've got
baseball team
they got
still
some
needs
alumni
money.
above my pay
Football
grade right
team
now,
is
but
rich.
hopefully I get there when they start asking.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks,
All
Slade,
right.
for joining us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
appreciate
Take
you,
your
Slade.
nap
Always
now.
great
You want
to
to shake
catch
my
up.
hand?
I like
Awesome.
it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate being
you.
on the show.
Yeah, always love having you. All right. We're going to do a quick shift change, and then we're going to talk to Mike Chernoff coming up in just a few minutes. Kratz, I think we can just do this for a quick minute here, and we'll try and, shut them off for a minute. We can do a quickie injury suck just because we actually covered it the other day, but we got confirmation here. The Braves are down 2 starters. 2 starters to start spring training. It's not good. Oh, we can show you the little cute thing we do at the start of this. Oh boy. So Spencer Schwellenbach and Hurston Waldrop both going under the knife. And they don't even know, obviously, when they'll be back, and they didn't even confirm a timetable for now. Here's Mark Bowman. He said surgery for removing loose bodies. Spencer today, Waldrop on Monday, and the Braves are not providing a timeline. Walt Weiss, their manager, said he hopes both will be able to pitch again this year. It's not just those 2 who both should have been part of the rotation. Reynaldo Lopez is a high injury risk, just based on what's gone on with him lately. Grant Holmes had injuries lately. Chris Sale has been their most durable guy. This is not good.
Who, if you talk to a Red Sox fan, they'll be like, Chris Sale, durable? What? But hey, he won the Cy Young as a Brave, so there's that. That's tough. It's tough. It's not. We went through it a little bit yesterday. Fortunately, it's bone spurs or bone chips. I just hope they find out what is causing those bone chips, because you don't just randomly go around like creating bone chips in your body. Like something is causing that. It's your body reacting to something. Hopefully they can figure that out.
Yes, hopefully, and we'll let you know when the Braves make a move, because they will at this point. All right, speaking of making moves, let's get back to camp. We have a guy who makes moves for a living. It's the GM of the Guardians, Mike Chernoff, joining us right now. Mike, really appreciate the time. How's spring training for you? How was the offseason?
It's great. You know what? Seeing the sun and being out in warm weather, AJ and I were just talking about it. It's a lot better than being in Cleveland this time of year. So it's been going great. It's, one of the amazing things in coming down here to our camp is almost all of our guys have been here for like a month.
When did you get here?
I got here about a week and a half ago.
Yesterday?
Yeah, no, I got here as early as I could about a week and a half ago. My family's back in Cleveland. But you get here and there was 100 players between major and minor league guys. Our guys love coming here, love putting the work in, and we have such a young team. It's a huge factor for us. So that's been great to see.
Mike,
Go ahead,
I was
AJ.
with you. Oh, no, I was
just real quick. He wanted to point out the outfit.
Yeah.
He did
Every
this,
GM,
but the podcast crowd
standard
needs
GM
that's
attire.
listening.
Quarter
Yes,
zip.
he's got
My
the
quarter zip. You guys like that? Yeah.
Every GM.
Yeah.
Every
They issue it to
GM.
you as soon as you get the job. They just give you the quarter
They
zip.
must
That's
be
how-
like 20 of them
Yeah.
in all different colors. And
Yes.
say, here, wear this every day.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I mean, but I tell people this. We joke about this. For the men, it's the sundress for men. You can wear it unfancy. You can wear it fancy. You can wear it golfing. You can wear it at the beach. Wear it at spring training. Wear it in the front office. It does everything. It's a utility player.
I like it. Never
It's
thought
the
of it
John
like that, but I like it.
McDonald. It's the John McDonald of menswear.
The 12-year veteran utility
Yeah,
player couldn't hit. I
exactly.
love it. Yep,
Field coordinator now.
that's right.
And it looks nice. It's good. Mike, when I was with the organization in 2017, I got to see firsthand for an entire year what you just talked about. You just said, man, everybody's been down here for a month. how deliberate is it that you guys set it up so that your players coming through the organization have a place, except for on Thanksgiving Day, on Christmas Day, and like a week around Christmas and New Year's, to always be working out? For the fans who don't know, you have turkey camp, you have J camp, which is January, you have Christmas camp, which is like December. It's a very deliberate thing, but do you guys feel like other organizations are like, man, those guys are dumb for doing that? And I think you guys get so much value out of it because you're investing in your people in the organization.
Yeah. First off, Erik, great to see you, man.
Wait, were you around when he was?
Yeah,
I've been here. Title when you fired him?
I probably the same as what it is today. But Chris is above me. It was all Chris's fault. It was all Chris's fault, not mine.
We'll get to that in a sec. You can answer the question, but we'll get to you guys firing me in a second.
It's a competitive advantage for us. I mean, look, we are a young team. We're one of the youngest teams in baseball. We have been for years. We have to do things differently. We're a small market, and in today's economic environment in baseball, we can't go out and sign top-tier free agents. It's just impossible with the economic landscape. So we have to do it through scouting and development. And a huge part of that, as you guys all know from your playing careers, is your off season. You have to find a way to raise the floor in your off season, right? How do you keep building? Whether it's the physical profile, the bat speed, the velocity, the command, whatever it is, how do you build those things in the off season and really push the envelope on what you can do? So we try to provide as many programs as we can for our guys. And thankfully we have a culture where guys buy into that and they love being out here together.
So it's one of those things that I spent a ton of time in other organizations. You guys do it by far, I've always said, the best of anybody. And I think it's a value that if other organizations knew it or did the same thing, you guys would lose a competitive advantage. But we'll get to, don't tell anybody else, all the stuff. I won't tell anybody else, okay? But getting to the whole fired me thing, I played the entire season of 2017. And when I got hired in the beginning of 2017, I told you guys, I said, you know what? I said, I'll help do whatever it takes to get to the World Series. And on August 31st, I got
flying
traded.
Baseball to start.
Shit,
No,
by the way.
we got to wear helmets.
We're like 100 feet behind the fence. But that's not even like whoever just needs to be tested. I saw the testers here earlier. Whoever hit that ball, well, I guess the wind is blowing out, but still.
All that to say, one of my greatest prognostication moments was you guys traded me to the Yankees, and you called me into the office, and I said, well, I lied to you at the beginning of the year. Now it's going to be the Yankees who are going to have the best chance of making it to the World Series. And do you remember in 2017 who knocked the Guardians or the Indians at the time out of the playoffs?
You were the curse. You cursed us. How about that? I can't believe it.
You traded me. I won MVP of the AAA team, and you traded me. So I blame you guys. So anybody who wants somebody to blame, Chernoff's the guy.
That's a good story. I love it.
That was good. I like it.
That was funny.
Hey,
all right. No,
go ahead,
I want to go on something you talked about. You mentioned it. I don't like bringing this up, but you mentioned the whole small market thing, right? As a GM of a small market team, you have to play within the margins or outside the margins. Try to find the small things. What's that like on a daily basis? Explain to people that are watching. When your owner comes to you and says, "Here's your payroll, your budget, 100 whatever million, 50 million, whatever, I don't know, random numbers," and then you say, "Okay, how do I do this?" And you talk about young guys, but what's it like when you call free agents? Because you guys do sign free agents, and you say, "Hey, look, we won the division, we're really good, we have young pitching, we have this, we have Jose. We need you to come, but can you take? Do you go? Can you take $1 million less? Right? How does that work? Because it's got to put you in a bad situation at times, and it's not your fault. Yeah. It's a hand you're dealt, but you've done a great job with it. So how do you handle that when you call free agents?
I mean, first things first, we know who we are.
Okay.
And we don't sell ourselves as something else. And so we have a lot of players that love being here because of the culture that we create. And we're looking for guys like that. So Austin Hedges continues to re-sign here because of the opportunity we provide him and because of the culture that hopefully he has been a part of creating, but also that is here, that he loves playing in. And you see that with other guys, whether it's some of the relievers that we signed, some of the starters we've signed over the years, or position players. This is a fun place to play. And look, you can stack up payrolls as much as you want, but we don't make excuses about payrolls. Over the past 10 years, we've been to the postseason 7 times, so that we are stacking ourselves up on wins, not on
Right.
payroll. And we try to create that winning environment where guys know it's our internal guys that drive us. We look to complement the team with great people and great players, but it's the internal people here. It's the internal players that have come up through our system that are going to be the core of our success going forward.
I absolutely love that answer. Is an AL Central guy, like Twins, White Sox, AL Central. I heard it all the time, especially when it was the Twins. Oh, you can't compete because you don't have. So to hear you say what you just, it makes my heart happy because you know what you are, and you're like, we're going to figure this out, and you're competitive, and you want to win. But the one guy that's you just are like the perfect example of that is Jose Ramirez. He could have gotten probably more on the open market, but he said, I love Cleveland. I love what you guys are doing. I'm gonna stay there for life. And good for y'all for recognizing that and saying, here you go, Hosey.
He sets the standard and he's the example. And for him to have had multiple times now, 3 times now, to have had the desire to want to commit to being here, I mean, that speaks volumes, and it's incredible. And I'm so thankful for our ownership group to be willing to invest back in him. But really, he could have had many opportunities in his career, but the thing that was most important to him was committing to here and being the best player he could for the Cleveland Guardians, which is a pretty neat thing.
Let's get to the support staff. So can you go over what you did this offseason? And I ask this question nowadays because there are still free agents. Is there any chance that somebody else gets added to the mix as, prices change this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, that's our job. We're scouring whether it's guys who get DFA'd or minor league free agents or major league free agents that are out there. But again, like I was saying to AJ, it's the core of our success is going to be dictated by the guys that we have here in camp. And yes, we're always looking to add on the margins. And you saw us, we took an approach this offseason of really adding some depth to our bullpen. We brought in 3 or 4 different guys, Sean Armstrong, the key veteran, but 3 or 4 different guys to help bolster our bullpen. But this is going to come down to the young players that we had. And the younger we got last year, towards the end of the year, the better we played, right? We struggled early on. We had signed a few veterans. They didn't necessarily have the best first half of the season, but we came back from a 15.5 game deficit because we went young and we doubled down on giving those young guys opportunities.
I'm going to go to one of your first playoff games. Chase DeLauder gets to play in his first game. You, as somebody who is part of the decision-making process, I see him playing in that first game, and obviously he drops the fly ball, and that's what people are going to remember. You guys couldn't find him any at-bats in September? Like, there wasn't any? Like, what were those conversations like?
So I don't know if you remember it. He
caught his first fly ball really well, though.
Oh, man, that was the moment. That was the moment. I tell you what, I felt for him and I felt for Voter because Voter took a big leap of faith to put him out there. But Chase was unbelievable in how he bounced back from that. Yeah, but it's so if you remember Chase's season last year, he started the year, he had a core area surgery that
was that just a hernia?
Basically, similar type of thing, right? So he wasn't back to playing in AAA until midway through the year. He was just starting to get his feet underneath him and build up his playing time, and then he had a hamate injury. So that set him back for another month, and he was actually in Arizona. The guy had not had live at-bats against in-game pitching since probably July when he did the hamate. And he's taking, swings off of our traject machine and off of machines out here. And he shows up and he plays in that playoff game. So it's not that we couldn't find at-bats for him in September. It's that he had the hamate setback and he did everything he possibly could to put himself in a position to help us. But he had to do that in a rehab setting. And then a huge credit to him to be able to just walk into a game. And despite, the sort of miscue on the fly ball, had one of the better at-bats I've seen of any of our guys in his first playoff at-bat right after that.
Great, but you were nervous, right?
Oh man!
And we talked to Voter about it, and he's same way. He drops the fly. You guys are like, "What are we doing?" But it worked out.
One of the coolest things was Tanner Bibby's reaction to it.
Yeah,
in the dugout, Tanner came up to him immediately and said, "Put it past you."
That's
and
awesome.
just I can only imagine as a young player when you hear that from a veteran pitcher who's out there busting his tail off, and that just happened. For him to come over there and put his arm around you and say, "Don't sweat it, let's move past it," that had a huge impact on
You
him.
just called him a veteran. He's got like 3 years.
Right. On our team, that's a veteran.
Just funny thing, like a month in the big leagues over the guy who hadn't played a regular season game. All right. So the one thing about the Guardians is they're known to develop pitchers. You guys are known to develop pitchers. How do you get the position player development to match the pitcher development?
Yeah. Well, we have this reputation of developing pitchers, and rightfully so. I mean,
Trust me, Kratz lets us know all the time. He says that's why his career ended so quickly after being a Guardian, is because you guys didn't develop him properly.
That's not
there
true.
you go. Right. But we have had waves where we've had similar types of position player development. I mean, you probably remember the teams where Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor and Jason Kipnis and a lot of really strong young position players. And we've sort of gone through waves. The current wave and the group that we had to start the season last year really scuffled offensively. That's not the norm. That was just the past year or two we have scuffled offensively. I think what we're really optimistic about is, like I said, the younger we got, the better we played. We provided opportunities for Kyle Manzardo, CJ Kafis, George Valera, Petey Halpin, some of these young guys that had been in our system. And when we did that, our offense was significantly better.
All right, I got two for you to finish up here. So one is a fan question, and we've had quite a few of these while this is going on. They want to know about Travis Bazzana. Chances of breaking camp, just where he's at in general.
Yeah, we're excited about Travis's future. I mean, this is a guy who we met with him pre-draft before we took him 1-1. I've never met a player in my 23 years here with this type of mindset. I mean, this guy is so focused on improvement and getting the most out of his ability he possibly can. And he showed that every step of the way. He had a couple of injury setbacks last year with his oblique that sort of slowed down his time frame, but when he was healthy, he was good, and we're excited about what his future can bring. He's, as you probably know, he's going to go play in the WBC with Team Australia. It was hugely important to him, even in thinking about this several years ago, that if he had a chance to represent his country, he would want to do that. So that'll take him out of camp a little bit. Once he gets back, we'll make sure we get him in games, see where things go, and we don't ever set timetables on players.
So you can't say he's coming up in 2026?
I mean, we are looking for great players to impac our team, and
such the GM talk.
How do you set a timetable?
You
don't know. Yes, my sundress of
it might just rub off on all GMs. Like as soon as they put the quarter zip on, they all have the same talk and the same lingo. It's amazing how the quarter zip just
I love it
into your soul.
Here's what we tell players. It's two things. One, your own readiness. You can control that. Two, opportunity. You can't control that, right? So how we have to help a player see that? Focus on what you can control. That's your own readiness, and the opportunity hopefully takes care of itself. And whenever that opportunity is there, make sure that you're as ready as you can to take over that opportunity.
All right, last one. No more on-field stuff. Like I said before, the people you hire and the environment that you created is one of the best that I was ever part of in an organization standpoint. How do you guys deal with, because that is your number one priority that I saw when drafting guys, retaining guys, whatever it is, when you have a Class A type of situation? Because that's like, for me, seeing that coming out of the Guardians organization is like shocking to me. If I saw it from other organizations, but how did you guys deal with that? Because it's really tough for you guys to go that far outside of something that you normally aren't doing.
It's a great point, Eric. I mean, that hit us hard. Look, Colt, like you said, we have to separate ourselves. We can't do it with the economics. We have to do it in other ways. And culture is such a huge part of what we do. Our scouts do a phenomenal job of understanding and learning the makeup of each player. And we try to bring in great people, not just great players. And we do the same thing with coaches and scouts and whoever that we're bringing into the organization, so we can separate ourselves with culture. And when something like that happens, man, it's a knock to the whole organization. Obviously what it does on the field, but also what it does off the field. I think what I would say is how our guys bounce back from something like that tells you everything you need to know. I mean, our guys were pissed. They were not happy. I'm sure you've talked to some of our players. Still, every time I read anything about it, I'm cringing. It makes my stomach unsettled just to see some of the stuff that's been written about. And yet our guys never gave up.
I give Voter so much credit. Obviously 2-time defending manager of the year, but I went in and did a game for you guys in Fox. August-ish. And the question has to come up. You hate asking the question.
Yep.
And he says, listen, I had a meeting right after, and our guys actually handled it. They used that as a positive and said, we're going to do it without him and show him that, it wasn't all him. And and it actually kind of, I don't want to say galvanized it for a terrible situation, but it brought you guys together. The players and Voter obviously did a tremendous job making that all happen.
No doubt about it. Voter is a huge part of that. From the day Clase was suspended to the end of the season, we had the #1 bullpen ERA in baseball, which to me tells me everything you didn't need to know. You lose the guy who was maybe the highest performing closer in all of baseball, and everybody just stepped up and performed even better. These are the things we have to deal with in our jobs. That's why I'm going gray at such a young age.
Stop it. By the way, speaking of, so he started as an intern. Mike started as an intern in 2003, right? So you know who Dave St. Peter is?
Yeah.
So you're like on the Dave St. Peter track, right? Dave St. Peter was a guy with the Twins that was started in the mailroom, and he ended as president of the Twins. So Mike's going from intern. He's at GM now. He's just got to get Chris Antonetti, his Kratz's buddy, to step aside, and then he can go to president of baseball ops.
I've been trying to knock him off to the side for a while. He just won't leave.
You guys seem to have a good relationship, so I think
I'm just teasing. He's like a big
brother.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got a good thing going, and see, that's good. All the interns that reach out all the time, you know who you are. It is important. Make an impression, and then places will keep you, and you'll rise. It is a really good message for those trying to get involved in the game. Really appreciate the time. Awesome to get you for some time here in person for AJ out at camp. Thanks for having us there for the day, and good luck this season.
Thank you, guys. Great talking with you.
Yeah, you too. All right, we'll get back to camp in just a moment. Let's take a quickie break live. All right, this is where we do a fashion show, Kratz. I actually brought them today. So my glasses situation is interesting. I don't usually wear them on the show, but I wear them pretty much the rest of life. So I'll give you a couple Kratz Warby Parkers because I don't want the glare to pop up. There's no way to avoid that because this is as good as it gets. I got the 167 high index, which is the super thin lenses. I like your shades. Perfect timing for that with spring training. Yes, thank you for the 6'7" reference. This is next one, Tiago. These are the ones I just got. This is a little bougie new design that they've got here. So see that?
I like that.
Nice. Very nice.
You can tell when you hold them in your hand, you can tell the quality of these glasses. These are just sunglasses. You're rocking the prescription.
Yeah, I've got the prescription. So yes, and some people will be like, is he just faking wearing glasses? I've worn them sometimes on the show where I've got like an eye problem or something, but I do wear glasses most of the time the rest of life when I'm staring at the screens. I got a prescription running. I got the blue light filter on them, and I've been a Warby Parker customer for many years. So I was pretty pumped to team up with them and shout them out here. I mean, you can start getting involved on the prescription lenses for $95. You get the quality, you get the stylish frames. When I was a kid, you'd have to go to the eye doctor and go to the spot next door, and everything was a ton of money and didn't look cool. So they solved it. And FT fam, you can get 15% off plus free shipping when you buy 2 or more pairs of prescription glasses at warby.com/foul. Warby Parker gives you quality and better looking prescription eyewear at a fraction of the going price. Again, our listeners get 15% off plus free shipping when they buy 2 or more pairs of prescription glasses at warbyparker.com/foul. That's 15% off when you buy 2 pairs of glasses at warbyparker.com/FOUL. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support FT and tell them that we sent you. All right, we're back. I'll leave these for a few. We're going to go over, let's hit Leo right now while we have a moment. And AJ's shaking hands and kissing babies for a few minutes out there. BetMGM Futures, AL Cy Young. These are the trends. So we went over this the other day, but now we've got the trends report. So I like to point this out. Like yesterday, the surprise topic was Roman Anthony getting a ton of love on MVP based on the plus 2,000 odds that he's running. Highest ticket percentage for AL Cy Young is Garrett Crochet, 6.2%. So that means he's getting 6.2% of the picks. As far as handles, so where the money is going on the picks, 13.3% to Kyle Bradish, who is the biggest liability. Liability meaning if Bradish wins, BetMGM takes the biggest hit. And the odds leader, of course, is Tarek Skubal at plus 300. Your thoughts here?
I mean, I love the plus 4,000 that I'm getting for Bradish. I do really like that. I think there are a couple names ahead of there that if you're not going the Crochet, Skubal route, which are respectively Crochet's 400, plus 400, and then Skubal's at plus 300. It's like you're getting some nice numbers on that. Like that shows you how wide open this could be. And is Skubal going to be the third ever 3 consecutive Cy Young Award winner? That's tough to do. Only twice has it ever been done. Can he do it for the third time? To me, the name on the list that really brings me the most value, and also this could be his year because of based on who else is on his pitching staff, Hunter Brown. If you're paying me 1,300 plus 1,300 for Hunter Brown, I'm going to put something on that because I feel like his next step in maturation, obviously he's got to stay healthy as anybody on this list, but it's going to be, can he be that ace? Can he be that ace now that Framber's gone? Can he say, okay, I'm taking the next step? Because if he does, he's going to best all these guys.
I like it. Interesting to me that these trends, when you see Bradish getting a lot of love right now, will they fully let him eat in his first season back from injury? First full season back from injury. He came back last year, of course. Whether you're watching the action on the field, court, ice, whatever it is, there is an any sport odds boost token for you to score a bigger payout. Go to BetMGM.com or the BetMGM app to go check that out and apply that boost. Gambling problem or concern, there's help. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All righty. Back to camp. We have more behind-the-scenes shots of what's going on. Pitchers throwing, devices watching pitchers throwing. We can talk about that coming up in a moment, too. Let's get back to camp. AJ, you've got our next guest sitting next to you, I've heard.
We do. We have Hunter Gaddis here with some of the best flow, not only on his head, but also on his chin, right? In all of Major League Baseball. And do we call you a setup guy extraordinaire? Has Cade officially taken the closer, so you're the setup for Cade now?
Hey, I'll take whatever. I just like the job.
You just like a job or the job?
I like the job.
But you started at one point.
Yes, used to.
So
it feels like forever ago.
The job of starting or the job of relieving?
I like relieving.
Okay.
I like the spur of a moment going a game.
Did you throw a bullpen today?
I did not. I threw one yesterday.
And did you use the iPad and all the tools?
Oh, yeah, all the technology.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So are you the throw one pitch and then I got to see what I threw there?
Only if I'm specifically working on something.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't touch it. If I feel good and it comes out good location, I don't look at it.
What are you looking for? I always ask. Yesterday we were in Kansas City and we had Reagans and Waka and Esteban, and you're like, okay, what are you looking at? So when you pick up the iPad and you throw a pitch and you're like, that was it. And then you say, oh, it was 97.8 with this vert or horizontal. Are you looking for a specific metric?
Yeah, not exactly vert or velo per se. Like if it comes out good, and it feels good, I'm not going to look at it.
Okay.
Because the only thing the numbers could maybe tell me is that it wasn't good. So it's like, if it feels good, I'm going to rock with it. But it's more like if I'm coming around the ball, like on the side of my fastball, and I'm not getting that, it doesn't feel like I'm getting that vert, I'll go look at the spin direction and say, like, am I on the side of it? Am I truly behind it? And if it just feels weird that day, but I'm still behind it good, just look at it a couple of times, just make sure.
Hunter, so many people are looking at like the screens and the numbers, and you guys have 6 coaches watching each bullpen. Like there's so much going on. Do you feel like that lends to arm health for pitchers, or do you feel like it is something that could make guys more susceptible to injuries, especially younger guys who are like, oh, everybody's watching me. Every pitch is videoed. It's all on the iPad. I have to throw my max best pitch ever.
I mean, it can definitely add to it. I wouldn't say, it's easy to do it, especially the first time. It took me a couple years to get over it. Hey, everybody's watching. the numbers are on me. But once when I realized, like, hey, those numbers are there to help and not just, hurt you. Like, if you're throwing 88 in the bullpen and it feels good and everything's coming out good, that's just as good if you're throwing hard and it's, it looks just as good to me. It's just a bullpen to me.
It's always just a bullpen to you. Well, what about when you're warming up for a game? Okay, well, let's say now you're
warming up for a game is
you don't care.
No, the only thing I care about is on the mound, in the field, in the game.
Okay, so when you're warming up to come into the 7th, 8th inning, right, to in a game, do the coaches stand there with the iPads?
No, not in the game.
Not in the bullpen.
No.
Okay, so you warm up,
Just
and then you
that's all it is.
go the first pitch of your outing, whatever. Let's say you throw a 4-seamer up, right, and the guy swings and misses. Are you a creeper of 97.6 with 12 inches of vert?
I for sure look. Not every time.
But do you hide it, or you just because the guys who just would hide it were worse than the guys that would just go, okay.
Thankfully, I don't have to turn around.
It's behind you?
It's up front and behind the catcher, so it's a little maybe you get the ball back, catch it up here, a little peek, and
because I remember when they first started doing that, we would yell at the pitcher, 94. You don't have to look 92.
What in high school and college, like I didn't have the velos like on boards and stuff. So when I finally started like being able to look at it, I looked because I was
good.
Like,
I like
cool.
it, especially if you throw hard.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. So when you punch a guy's ticket, you ever look up and be like, you just point at the scoreboard?
No, never. I like to strut around, catch my breath.
Okay, you're tired from that pitch clock.
Yeah,
you guys
for real.
Run more.
No.
What's more disappointing? Absolutely getting on one, like you're like, that came out good. Looking up, oh, it was actually 2 miles an hour slower. Or giving up a little bleeder base hit that you should have made the play on.
It matters. I mean, in the game, I'm just trying to get 3 outs. If I'm throwing 90, if I'm throwing 100, 3 outs is 3 outs to me.
You want to strike everybody out. Don't.
I want to for sure,
Don't
but
I
want 3 outs and a 0 on the board. That's my goal.
So if you give up like 3 piss missiles, 3 line drives, you're like, oh, that's fine. 3 outs.
3 outs is 0 on the board.
You punch 3.
I mean, I may not be the happiest, but 3 outs, 0 on the board.
I like it. I like it. What was it like when you went from starter to reliever? You say you like relieving more. To me, you come across as more of a reliever than a starter. Most starters don't look the way you have a reliever look, right? Which is great. I love it. I think every reliever should look mean and tough and as nasty as they possibly can, because when you look out there as a hitter, you look at the guy and you're like, oh, look how cute he is. Meanwhile, I want a guy that's out there snarling and breathing fire. So what was that transition like for you? Did the Guardians come to you and say, look, we tried you at starter, we think your stuff plays better? Or did you go to them and say, I think I'd be better as a reliever?
It was the spring training of 24. I prepared the offseason as a starter, building up, throwing 40, 50 pitch bullpens and whatnot. And then we started games. I think I threw an inning here, threw 2 innings, kind of building up a starter. And then it was just like, hey, go get 1 inning. Hey, go get 1 inning. Hey, go get 1 inning. And I was like, okay, probably not starting. Made the team. They told me I was going to be in the bullpen. No set role, no nothing. Just when my name's called, go. And that's what I did. And I've really enjoyed, like, spur of the moment. Every day I can be in the game. And it's a lot more fun to me.
We just talked to Mike Chernoff, and I had to ask the terrible question in the room. But he said, you guys were pretty pissed when the whole Class A thing came out. You're actually somebody who's down there in the pen with him. When that all came out, what were your emotions, and did it galvanize you as a group in the bullpen?
At first it was just kind of like a stunned moment, kind of just let it be. I just kind of swept it under the rug. I still had a job to do every single day showing up, and I just tried to control what I could.
That's a very veteran answer on.
Yeah. Wait, I have a follow just on the season there. What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay. So this is kind of the fan in me here, Hunter, and it's getting more to how, you guys certainly were galvanized. You came back from a ridiculous deficit to take the Tigers down for the division. I know the postseason didn't go the way the team wanted it to go, but the regular season's a freaking marathon. And usually when you see double-digit deficits that late in the season, you're like, yeah, we're toast. So here's my question. We're not going to throw any player under the bus, but you don't have to say the name of the player. There had to be one person at one moment that joked at least, like, well, it's not our year. We're not winning the division. It's something, right? Like, did you guys actually look the entire time and every single person was like, oh, we got this. We got this, guys. 15 up back of the Tigers. We're getting them. Like, there had to be some moment of whatever it's called, brevity or something, where you're like, all right, not this time.
You know, I 100% honest. I'd never heard anybody say that we were out of it by any means. Voter did a real good job of talking to us each and every day and just keeping our spirits up in the down moments. Just, you know, to take it one day at a time. And then we had a tough stretch where it was like not as easy to show up to the park for sure. And then once when you got there, it was game time and it kind of goes away. And then we got hot and it just started rolling for us. And it was a lot of fun to end it.
Stephen Vogt's one of my good friends. We played together several different stops. What does he do that you think other managers, and I get it, you haven't had a ton of other managers in the big leagues, but what does he do that brings you guys together? Or what's his like most endearing trait? But then you also have to say, what's the one thing that's really annoying that he does?
I mean, he's really good at just being personal with everybody. He knows everybody really well. I feel like we know him really well. Just when it's time to joke around and have fun, I mean, that's going to be the time, and he'll do it. And then when it's game time, I think he's like a different person. He's ready. He's locked in. And I just feel like he's locked into the game. But then you see him in the clubhouse after, and he's hot, like high-fiving, smiling, and just real personal. But the only thing I guess to say, like, I don't know what you said. I was like, don't like. I don't know if that's a word. It's not that I don't like anything about him, but we'll be having fun, and then he'll have to snap out of it. He's like, oh, I'm your manager. I got to go. I got to go do my job.
That manager.
Fun. Come on, keep it going.
Yeah. Well, welcome to life in the corporate hierarchy.
Yeah.
You can only be a player so long, then the fun stops.
Exactly. No, I understand it.
No, I'm just kidding. It actually gets better as you get older. All right. I have two more before we let you go. One, you said Vogt gets to know you personally. So what does he talk to you about?
Golf, really.
Yeah.
We both enjoy golf. I love golfing. It's just my
So now that you're done, it's 11:52. Are you going to play?
2:15.
Man, you hear that, Mark? You hear that, Scott? Man, 2:15 tee time. Man, it's unbelievable. Some of us can't ever get out of here.
Hey, got to get it in when you can.
That's right. I know. Some of us got to, we got to work twice today, Hunter. We can't all just throw bullpens yesterday and take it easy. And then the last one for me, we had Cade on. I talked to Cade. He said he has a new song he's coming out to. I'm a firm believer that only the closer gets the walkout song and the fire entrance. You're not a closer yet. You might be someday. Do you think it's okay for setup men to get the fire entrance and the song?
For sure. I think anybody should get it.
That's the wrong answer. I love
yes,
it.
sir.
We're playing a game for the fans out there to enjoy. I think a good intro and everything. Why not?
Oh, man. I was liking you, too, and then you went and ruined it.
Oh, come on now.
I'm going to talk to Vogt.
No, that's fun.
Where are you?
No, it's fun.
like
It's
that.
like, can you imagine it's like maybe like 5 years from now, like Edwin Diaz isn't a closer anymore, and he's like a fifth inning guy, and like the starter gets like destroyed, and it's like 10-2, and it's like, burn up, and they're like, oh, here he comes.
There's certain
fifth
times,
inning, 10-2.
It's fun.
So you have to have the lead when you come in to have the music play.
I don't know if you necessarily have to, but it's gotta be a good, enjoyable game for the fans. That's why we're there. That's why they show up.
Okay.
So give it to them.
All right. Hunter, my last question. I asked Cade this, but off camera. I asked Cade Smith this. Does the plain boneyard, which is right next to Goodyear, does it freak you out at all? Because when I played there, it freaked me out because planes would take off and land there, but it's all decommissioned planes that are there. And I'm like, who is flying those? I feel like it's like the bullpen guys of pilots. Am I right or wrong?
I don't know. I've never even thought about it. You've put way more thought into it than I have. I just see planes there.
I actually just think it's cool that they're all there.
It is kind of cool to see, or unless you got to play catch here and you got planes in your someone's letting go of the ball right into a white plane. That's not too fun.
Cade said the same thing.
But no, I see a bunch of the small planes, and I like take off. And on a windy day, even like today, I
You're not a
wouldn't
flyer.
get in there.
You're not a flyer.
No, I feel like I'm already over the weight limit in those things.
Hunter, this was great. Thank you for the time. Enjoy camp. Enjoy your tea time. Think of AJ, at every tea time that he doesn't get to enjoy, and feel really bad for him.
Position players got to grind, man.
Yeah,
they can't all be special
career.
teams players.
He chose to be a catcher. That's his loss. And now he's chosen to be a broadcaster for really a number of networks, ours, Fox, etc. So he's a busy man. So enjoy your free afternoon. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's Hunter Gaddis from the Cleveland Guardians. Okay. Speaking of double duty, that is a good reminder for everyone to watch us this evening. We'll be on around 8:30 Eastern time. It is the Playmakers Classic. What does that mean? AJ and Alana Rizzo are going to be out at a party that involves many, many players we get to spend time with. It's one of the best things that I think we do as a company, as a network, is get as many players as possible on this show and interview them and find out what's going on in life. So it's the 4th annual Playmakers Classic. We've spoken all about it. We're a big fan of it. It's charity. It's charity for players and the organizations that they're running. Much more info at playerstrust.org. So it is in downtown Phoenix tonight. Alana and AJ are going to handle the whole thing from site. I will be annoying everyone in the chat throughout the entire event. It's something that I do well when I'm not working. You will be flying on a plane, yes. And you can watch on the plane if it has good Wi-Fi. So make sure you check it out and say hi to everyone. So anyway, last chance. I think they have some tickets left. Probably price went up, as it should. Dynamic pricing. playerstrust.org, celebrating 30 years of player-powered impact. We like supporting the people that come on our show every single day. All right, let's get to the big news.
Charging the mound.
There's a lot going on with the players' side of the situation here that runs all of baseball, right? You have Major League Baseball, Commissioner Manfred, and all the people below him. Other side, because someone said the other day, oh, he's just the executive director. No, that is the leader of the Players Association. So the players side that makes up our sport and represents all of the players, that's the Players Association, the union, and that is Tony Clark, who is now out. So we'll start there, and then we'll get to the succession plan. So this broke yesterday. We had Ken and Evan Drellick all over the story first, saying Tony Clark's resigning. Then step 2 was Passan and Don Bandetta putting out from ESPN that Clark resigned after an internal investigation revealed he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law, who had been hired by the union in 2023. That's some Jerry Springer shit right there, Kratz.
Yeah, it's not what you're looking for from the leader. And I want to reiterate what you said, like the leader of the union. He is Rob Manfred. As much as you say, Rob Manfred, he can be the puppet for the owners. Okay, that's fine. You can say whatever you think. Like, this is a huge thing that the Players Association has to figure out. And people say, well, people make mistakes. Well, it's when you're a public figure, like they have to deal with that right now. And it's a big thing.
It is a huge thing, AJ. And he is still under investigation by the feds for if he did anything shady money-wise. So there's stuff going on there, and we don't know the resolution of that yet. I think it's still ongoing. So and to my knowledge, that's why there was a group that was internally making sure everything was okay to represent the player side. And with that, they're doing their homework, and they're like, wait a second. What is this communication that's going on here? Then they speak to Tony. They notify the players and the committee there. And then the players call Tony on Monday, and they're like, what's the deal? It sounds like they essentially said, you're toast. Do you want to announce it yourself or not? And then by Tuesday morning, we find out before his first meeting that's set in camp, and he meets with all 30 teams, he's out.
Yeah, listen, this is just terrible situation. I honestly, I don't know enough about this, but from reading this, there has to be more to this. I feel like than what we've gotten so far, and I'm sure Ken and Drellick and everyone else is digging for it a little bit. This seems like I don't know. I don't even want to get into this because this just sucks for so many. And I hate to get into people's personal life because you don't know what anyone's doing on a personal level unless you're living their life. So listen, whatever Tony did, this seems like the way for them just to get him to resign with a little bit of dignity if there's more, which I obviously hope there's not. But this just sucks, man. I hate even talking about this. It just sucks. This whole thing sucks.
It does. And there's a part 2 to this. We have a guest that's joining us in a moment here. So we're going to get to the guest and then we'll continue on this conversation after that. But Kratz, that's like the first part is, hey, what happened? And then the second part is, what's next? This is a huge year. We went over some of that yesterday. If you want to check out the top of yesterday's show, and we'll continue to talk about it. This is my one little plug too for us, because we'll get back to this. The only reason we're stopping for a moment here is we're going to go back to an interview and talk about fun stuff in life with a player. But we will get to the what's next, who could be replacing him, and what that looks like going forward. Of course, there's fans that are like, is this going to disrupt anything for negotiations next year? It seems pretty clear that's not going to change. The stances are not going to change, but there might be a new person who's speaking and who's representing everyone. So something to keep in mind. We'll get to that because there's been some news on that front, but let's pause for a second and let's go back to spring training Guardians camp. AJ, take it away.
We got the big rig here. Gavin
AJ.
Williams, who had, am I muted? Mark.
No,
Mark,
you're
every
good.
time Mark
You're good.
every time Mark touches something, it goes
Crazy.
to hell here. So just keep Mark away from everything, okay? In your life, if you possible. Well, we got the big rig here, Gavin Williams, who had a unbelievable second half. If you didn't see Gavin Williams' numbers last year, check him out, boys and girls, because he had an unbelievable season. Almost threw a no-hitter.
Almost
Got the
Doesn't
no-hitter.
count,
We
though.
talked to you about it. And just an unbelievable season for you, especially the second half. I'm just going to dig. What changed?
Honestly, starting from I think it was the Giants series, went in there on the off day, threw a pen, worked on a little bit of delivery stuff, added the cutter back. I think that's when we started throwing the cutter a little bit more, and then started the sinker. I think halfway, right before the halfway point, and honestly, it opened up the whole zone for me. Opened the top, opened the bottom, outer half. Helped out a lot.
Gavin, like, was that the moment, or was that the second half that you were like, oh, finally, I can hear people stop saying so much potential. He's got so much potential. Was that annoying to you? Because I never had anybody say that I had potential, so I have no idea what that's like.
Honestly, I wasn't hearing that too much. I try to stay off of social media as much as possible. Don't really care what other people say or anything like that. I try to do what I can do and what I can control at any point.
What you mentioned, like what you changed and what you did. But you start throwing strikes. Right?
Yeah,
Was that
finally?
But not finally. But it's not like you went out there and every person from little league till the big leagues just throw a strike. It's not like you're not trying to throw a strike.
For sure.
Did mentality change? Did something change in your mechanics?
I think I was just frustrated with myself at the beginning, like the first half, I would say. I was trying to go through some delivery changes, and then it finally clicked. And that one off day throwing the pen. So I think when it finally clicked, everything just came together for me.
It happened like that, right?
Yeah, honestly, it did. It was
amazing.
much needed. Yeah.
The voter didn't sit you down. Carl Willis didn't sit you down. It was just inside yourself.
That, and I think the All-Star break really helped me out with like a little reset. Those 4 days, just getting my mind away from the game, it really helped out.
Are you competitive?
Yeah, I say so. I try not to show it as much. I don't want to get too frustrated with myself. I think at times I try to be too perfect with things. I don't want to get too frustrated with myself and bring it out where other people can see that.
Okay, because we see how emotional Tanner can get. Do you tell him to like relax? Because we look at your demeanor, and I assume you're really competitive. It's kind of a rhetorical question. I assumed that, but you look at his demeanor, and he's like, "Oh man, oh this, that, and everything." And then you talk to him, he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm just trying my best." Do you calm him down, or do you try to like prod the horse a little bit?
I think it's a little bit of both.
everybody's different. I try to get on them a little bit, try to poke at them, stab at them with anything that I can. And most of the time he just laughs at it with anything I say to him.
Do you guys have the biggest pitching staff in the league?
Like height-wise and like
size-wise?
I think the whole like staff period. We got some big bodies on the whole staff.
Yeah, Cade Smith, gigantic.
Gaddis
just sat here. Bibby's not small. People will look at Bibby and be like, oh, he's a little guy.
Yeah.
On the staff.
I mean, you got Sean Armstrong now.
Yeah.
I mean, Joey's pretty big too. Big guy. I mean, we got a huge staff.
You guys ever thought about picking up basketball?
I mean,
in the off season, clearly.
I mean, I was a center in middle school, 7th grade center.
Middle school?
Yeah, better watch out. 1 year.
What happened after that?
Double?
No, not at all. Not at all. Played a couple games and I was out.
That was it. So you didn't do high school, and were you bigger than everyone in middle school? And then, well, no one ever really catches up.
You're still bigger than everybody.
I know.
But not. I was not bigger than everybody in middle school. I was like the little guy. I was like 5 foot, 400 pounds. It looked like I was like a little bowling ball.
So when did your height hit?
Like junior year of high school.
Did you go like 6'8" inches?
Yeah, it's something like that. I think it was like 6 foot going. Yeah, 6'7". It was like 6 foot going into high school, and then by the end of it, I was like 6'5", 6'6".
Oh wow! And is that when you started getting recruited and all that? When you're 6 foot, everyone's like, ah.
Yeah, honestly, I started getting recruited sophomore year of high school, but I was playing different positions, obviously. Then finally hit, I think it was 94, 95 on the gun, and that ended all the other positions.
Yeah.
Worked out for me.
Yeah, when you're 6'5" and you throw 95. He went to East. Rig went to East Carolina. I have to go to East Carolina in a couple weeks. My son plays at UAB.
Okay.
So I know this is way off topic.
It's the best place ever. You'll have fun.
East Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the jungle. It's the outfield.
Okay. Where do I eat though?
I mean, what do you want to eat?
It's good.
Anything?
Food.
There's a hole in the wall. It's called Bee's Barbecue. You got to get there pretty early though.
Okay.
Insane barbecue. Love it. Obviously you got the staple Sup Dogs.
Okay.
Everybody's got to go to Sup Dogs.
Yeah.
Get a few adult beverages if you want.
Yes.
I don't know if I can say that, but I don't care.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, get a couple of those and have a good day.
Okay, and then go to the jungle.
Go to the jungle.
Get on me if I'm wearing blazer.
No. Just tell them who you are. Yeah, they're friendly.
I'm not going to walk around.
Yeah.
If I wear a Gavin Williams jersey, will they know who I am?
A little
or
bit.
a Trey Savage.
Trey Savage. They might jump on your back for that thing.
That's what I was going to ask. Now, obviously, college baseball just started. You sit there, I assume you at least check on some of the game scores. Do you follow a guy like Trey Savage or some of your ex-teammates that are playing in the league and you go, okay, I kind of like it when they do well, even not against us, but I like watching them and like pay attention to where they're at?
Yeah, for sure. I'm always watching any kind of ECU guys and checking up on them, seeing how they're doing. I mean, opens up the mat for ECU and shows guys that there is products that come out of ECU.
By the way, did you see how they did this weekend?
Terrible.
Yep.
I don't want to talk about it.
One of my best friend's kids plays at Xavier. He had a great weekend.
Really?
Yeah. So we won't talk about it.
Good. Please don't. Xavier's got some dudes though.
Yeah.
You're keeping up. You're a big college baseball fan, and if so, like where do you think the game is at right now? Like the state of college baseball?
Honestly, I think it's a good point. I think the game is growing in all aspects. I think there's so many more people watching the game now, and I mean, you bring in the pitch clock, and more people are watching because games are going by quicker. So I think it's at a good point right now.
I agree. And do you think the money helps? I mean, seriously, guys have a lot more reason to stay, and for some of them, if the financial reasons are important, they can maybe wait a year to get the big signing bonus from the draft.
Yeah, for sure. I think money plays a lot in anything, really. I think anytime you can get paid doing anything, everybody's going to stick around and try to stay as long as possible.
How much did you get paid at ECU?
0.
You're such a liar.
I wish I got paid. I wish.
It wasn't there yet, right? Did you just miss it, the cutoff?
I missed it by a year.
Damn.
Missed it by a year.
How much would you have gotten now, though? This is the game that everybody plays. Like, how much would you have gotten based on the fact that you were a first rounder? They would have wanted you to keep you around. Were you loyal to ECU? Because I heard the guys who aren't loyal to the school, they're the ones that get paid the most because they're like, I'm gone. I'm going to the highest bidder.
Yeah, loyalty right now isn't a thing. It's whoever's going to give the most money. And I'd say I was pretty loyal to ECU. I bleed purple and gold. I love it. I live there in the all season now. I go back there and work out. Try to do as much as possible for them. And I don't think there's a dollar figure for me to stay there. I loved it so much.
That's awesome.
But they can back pay too if they want. They can back pay you a little bit if you want to let them
Yeah,
know.
maybe. Hey, for the back pay, I got like $9. My bad.
There you go.
Hey,
Nice.
there it is.
Work out there,
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
Free sub.
try to get a little bit more next time.
That's fair. That's fair. By the way, he's from Cape Fear, and I have to know. I have to know. He's from Cape Fear, North Carolina. There was a very famous movie. Have you seen Cape Fear the movie?
I have not.
You've never seen that?
Not a big movie guy.
What?
Oh, yeah, but it's about the town you're from.
Yeah, I'm not.
De Niro. Well, there was one in like the '60s, but they remade it. Like, hold on, I was just looking at '91 with De Niro.
No, I'm.
You know who Robert De Niro is?
No.
God,
Yeah,
God.
it's pretty bad. I don't know.
Oh
Don't
my
know many,
gosh.
many actors.
Anyways, watch it. First of all,
He was
it freaked
born
me
in
out.
Was it on
99.
Netflix?
No, I know, but still, like people go back. My son's born in 2007, and he's going back and watching like all the top 100 listed movies. You know, so I figured.
Okay.
But if there was a movie made about my hometown, I would watch it just to know what people thought of my hometown.
You got to
I'll
rent
have
it.
to check it out.
It's
Yeah.
not
You
on.
have to- you
I,
have to-
I'm looking for you now. It's not on any of the platforms. It looks. I mean, it is, but you got to rent it. It's
Oh,
like
it's a
$4 or $5.
DVD, huh?
Yes, do
It's
you know
basically
what
like
it is?
I mean, 91. He knows a DVD. No De Niro, but a DVD.
He's
Yeah,
gotta
you
go
got to
to-
rent it.
Do
You
they
gotta
even
go to
make DVD
Blockbuster.
players anymore?
You know, I have one you can buy though. For me.
I don't want to buy it. Might not have a TV
What
they
do
can
you-
hook up to.
You don't watch movies. What do you do?
Nah,
What's your
I watch.
go-to?
I watch Seek One. Ever heard of it? So it's Lee Ellis hunting channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
Pretty
okay.
pretty awesome. I love it.
You would live and breathe hunting. If you weren't pitching, you would hunt until you can't hunt anymore.
For sure. I would do the same thing he's doing. Get all the cameras, little crew, and go out and do that.
Oh, so you'd be a creator influencer.
Try to.
Are you
You try
bow
to?
or rifle?
I would try to if
Oh, you would
if
try
I had
to,
the
yeah.
time for it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just bought my first bow, so I'm gonna try and get Matthews
Okay.
Arc 34.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get into that, but usually just gun.
Okay.
For me.
Favorite thing you've hunted? Deer, whitetail.
I went hog hunting for the first time this all season, like thermals and stuff. That was pretty sick.
Okay.
But deer, duck hunting, those are my two go-tos.
Listen,
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah.
I do it. I've done it. But you got to get your bow.
Yeah,
It's a different it's a different animal.
that's
when
what
you're-
I heard.
You're close, so.
Try to get into that.
But when you're retired, you have plenty of time to do it. You can do it all the time.
Absolutely.
All right. I
That's
like
the
it.
thing. Yeah, Gavin. So you've got whatever 10 years left, whatever you want to do left, and then you hit us up, and we'll help you set up the YouTube channel.
Perfect. Y'all got all the
Yeah.
cameras. It looks like right here.
And we've got to figure it out. Yeah. So hit us up. We'll be following in the meantime. But good luck.
Wait,
Thanks
hold
for
on, I have
joining
one
us.
more question.
Yeah.
No, hold on, before he goes, I have one more question. We had Mike Chernoff sit down here.
Okay.
Right. We've had relievers. You're the first starter we've had here so far. Who's the opening day starter?
Whoever they want to be. Doesn't matter who it is. I
Does
think
it matter to you?
doesn't matter. As long as I pitch, doesn't matter. I want to win games. That's all that matters to me.
Would Bybee, if it was Bybee, or if it was you, or whoever it was?
Joey, LA, doesn't matter.
All right. I forgot we had Slade too, so I guess Slade
Slade.
considered a starter.
Yeah, win's a win to me. Doesn't matter where you pitch, as long as you win.
Okay. That's fair.
I think we all got one goal in our mind, and that's to win a World Series. Doesn't matter how you get there.
And make it a little easier on yourselves this year. Don't do the whole, we're going to be 15 and a half back, and then we're just going to dance our way right back to the division. Again, we're not
That's
talking
the
about
fun part.
postseason results. But yeah, you did make it fun. That story was crazy, dude. We're like, oh, look, Cleveland, now they're 8.5. Oh, they're set. Whoa. That was incredible. It was really fun to watch. I mean, sometimes the races can get a little slow and boring if teams are way ahead, but now I'm going to look at them differently because of you guys.
For sure. I mean, that was a fun time, just sitting in the dugout watching it. I mean, you get 10 games back, you get 5 games back, and it's like, oh, we're actually about to do this. I mean, I have no words for it, but it was awesome to watch.
It was really cool. Some awesome memories. Well, Gavin, thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. Good chatting with you, and we'll see you during the season.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me.
That's Gavin Williams from the Cleveland Guardians. We're back here, and we're going to jump right back into charging the mound because we have more to hit.
Charging the mound.
Part 2. So what's next for the union? Players have been meeting fast and furiously. They had a meeting yesterday, which is Tuesday. Bob Nightingale said Bruce Meyer, who was kind of the number 2 there, and he's the union's lead negotiator, is still going to be in that spot, even if he also becomes the interim executive director. So that was one bit of news from Bob. And there's been a lot more. Evan and Ken came out with an article saying intriguing candidates emerge as MLBPA debates successor for ousted leader Tony Clark. Names they mentioned in there included Matt Nussbaum, who's part of the general counsel, or I think is the lead general counsel there. Don Fair, who used to work with the MLBPA back in the day, and then he went to the NHL side. Daniel Murphy's on that picture. He used to be part of the PA mix there. And Andrew Miller is part of the mix. Currently, we've had him on the show. So there's some names. There could be others. It sounds like there's some dissension too, where some guys want to just get this rolling, keep the train on the tracks, go with the guy who's already there and let him go. He's going to be a part of the mix regardless. Others are like, hey, let's take some time. Let's make sure we get this right. Let's make sure we maybe talk to other candidates. You can speak to this, Kratz, because you've been part of the union. You got to get a lot of people on the same page, and they're a little busy right now with spring training, so there's a lot going on.
I mean, it's better now than during the season. Like, you don't want guys to have to worry about this during the season. But when you're part of the subcommittee, when you're part of the executive committee as a player, you're representing the 1,200 some odd players that are saying yay or nay to certain things. And I would agree. I would sit on the side of, hey, let's take some time. Let's not need to name somebody in the next 48 hours. Nothing's going to happen. Nobody's attacking your city. Nobody's attacking the union. Nobody, like, this isn't like Major League Baseball time to strike because Tony's out, their executive director's out. No, there is such a structure built, such a game plan already built. Tony was really like the rallying cry guy. He was a guy that sat through the strike of 94. And so him along with some of the other older player reps, or not player reps, but representatives from the Players Association, they saw it. They saw that. And it's supposed to be there to remind guys, hey, you know what? We need to stay unified. That's where they need to find somebody. That's who they need to find. They need to find somebody who's not trying to politic their way into this role. They need to try to find somebody who has the best intentions, not somebody that's looking to get a major salary bump because they're getting this role. And I don't think that decision should be taken lightly. I think the next executive director needs to be somebody who is respected on both sides, respected by Major League Baseball, respected by the players, and respected in the avenue that this is all going to be negotiated in. Lawyers, like legal representatives, because there's a lot of things that go on that players may know what's going on, but when you have people that went to school for this stuff, that are professionals in this realm, sometimes I'm a little against the player being in this role. The executive director doesn't necessarily negotiate this CBA. He's in there, he's part of it, but just like Rob Manfred doesn't negotiate the CBA. There's other people that are doing the negotiations, so those people are still in place. To me, this needs to be something that they need to take time, and they need to get it right because they need to make sure the union is still continues to stay galvanized as one unit and not factions of big-time superstars, mediocre players, Latin players, Japanese players, players from the South, players from the North. Like, they have to be one group, and that's the best way that the Players Association works.
I'll use a comp here too, AJ. Bud Selig was the commissioner for a long time in Major League Baseball. He owned a team. He owned the Brewers, right? And the commissioner is the person that leads the charge with the owners, right? They vote on what they want to do, then commissioner plays that out. Now it's Manfred for a while. He didn't own a team. He was a lawyer and on the fight for a long time. Then they bring him up to be the next guy. So playing to Kratz's point, it could be a former player. Doesn't have to be a former player.
No, it needs to just be the best, like Erik said, the best person for the job that can encompass all players, right? And I think there's no need to rush, but this is a bargaining year. So you got to put a little bit of maybe a fast forward on it, but not a rush. Maybe, like when you hit your remote and it goes like 1 time, 2 time, maybe put it 1.5 times instead of the 4 times where it just zooms through your show you have on your DVR, right? So there is a little bit of a rush. I don't think that because of where they're at in the bargaining and they still have most of the team. I think when we look back on it now, they had Don Fear, then they had Michael Weiner, who was the successor for Don Fear. He obviously got sick, passed away. Horrible story. Then they hit the rush button. I feel like, who can we get in? Well, Tony Clark was there. He was a player. He knows us, right? Boom. Let's throw Tony Clark in there. Okay, Tony Clark takes over. You can make the argument how it went, good or bad. I don't know. That's not for me to argue. But now you have a situation here where you got to get it right because it's a bargaining year, because there's going to be so much on the table with the salary cap stuff, with the international draft stuff, with all the TV rights, everything we've been talking about, we're going to talk about for the next 10 months. You got to get this one right, guys. You just have to get this one right. And whether it's a player, a lawyer, somebody off the street that we don't even know about, please, I guess we're not members of the union anymore, Kratz, because we don't play anymore. But as a former member of this union and someone whose pension and insurance relies on this, please, guys, just please get it right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's important that they continue to stay unified. I think it's important that they take their time. I'm not saying take months to do this. I'm saying take a week or two rather than a day or two. I think the fast forward button is understood and agreed upon, but I think there's also a sense that it is bigger than you. And if you have somebody that has an agenda that wants to take this job, I don't think that's the type of leader that the union wants. So, I think that subcommittee will hear from people, hear from names, and hopefully they make the best choice.
I tried to make as many phone calls as possible. I'm no Ken Rosenthal. I'm not reporting on any story. But the one consensus that I did get was that this is a good thing for all sides. Not the actual story and the implications of what came out of what Tony, was doing. But it was time because it felt like there was a lot of distractions off the field. And clearly we're learning about some of them. But it felt like that was permeating, right? There was a lot going on. And you want someone who's super focused and who's almost like a nerd about this stuff. And it's all they do. They eat, sleep, and breathe it. And you can call them at any time and they're around, right? Isn't that often how the best GMs are? The commissioner. It is a 24/7 job. And it seemed to me like people felt as if there were distractions going on here. So they're like, we need someone who is strong, who is focused, who I can reach at any time, and who's going to get along well as best as possible with MLB. You're going to have your battles, but from a fan perspective, that's where I'm coming in here. I want games to be played. You want things to keep rolling, and you want things to get better. One of the things that I thought was the best part of the last agreement between both sides was to get a little lottery action going on. So you can't just tank. NBA is going through a massive tanking issue right now. And I think MLB and the players have done things to be able to make that better. We've seen a lot of rule changes that I think continue to improve the game. So you want someone that's just going to be able to speak the language. And I think that there was a lot cleaned up just now as far as the, streamlining all of this. Yes, they have to get a leader back in place, but if you're waiting on someone to make a final call and that person is busy with a million things going on that are off the field issues, right? You've got a federal investigation. You've got the sister-in-law situation going on here, which we covered earlier in the show. That's not good. You're busy, and you're busy for the wrong reasons. It's true. We say whatever we want on this show, AJ, and that part is true. I got told this by multiple people that are in different worlds, right? Some more on the MLB side, some more on the player side, and they were like, I'll tell you this, I think everybody would agree it's going to be a good thing. It'll help get someone who's in there who's focused.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's hope. That's all we can do is hope, Scott. By the way, I wanted to ask Kratz this, and Scott, you don't really apply here, so we can just chill Kratz and I. All these players keep walking by with their spikes on. Is there a more annoying noise, or some people like it, than when players walk by on the concrete and it's like, I was a plastic spike guy, so I didn't really have that problem, but all these guys are walking by and it's just like, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
So weird. I never liked when I heard other people make the noise, but when I did it, something was, especially because I don't wear cleats ever in the off season. When you first get to spring training and you get on those sidewalks and it's like, you're like, I'm doing damage. So I like the noise.
That's why I wear
Can I come
plastic
back or
spikes,
no?
because I didn't like the noise. Do you hear it right now? Can you guys hear it? As
No, we can't hear
I
it.
don't know who that is. Campbell 53 walks by. Campbell. No, I was talking about your cleats when you walk by and it's no, it's all good. It's all good.
Going in to have the minor league spread. It's not with the Guardians, their setup is the exact same building. Minor leaguers are on one side, big leaguers are on the other side. They share a weight room, and they don't share the same food. You go over there and you're like, oh man, the minor leaguers, they don't quite get the same food. It may have changed since I've been there.
It's probably changed.
But the big leaguers we got the better food. The minor leaguers, they just got the goulash.
I think that changed. Actually, it's funny, just on the topic around. I think it changed with the CBA because the minor leaguers are unionized now. They weren't unionized when you were there. So I think that was part of the little deal is, hey, feed us well. And what a concept. If you feed us well, we might even feel better and play better.
No. That's dumb,
Mind
Scott.
blown. Mind
That's
blown.
dumb, Scott. The $12 a day I used to get for meal money in the minor leagues, and 10 of it had to go to the clubby who gave you peanut butter and jelly that you made on your own. And then you had $2. That was without a tip. So then you had to tip. So you actually were losing money. And that was for not even a meal a day. So no, I think it was much better back then, Scott. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Piece of bread and some fake cheese and you're good to go. They don't make them like they used to. All right, let's shake it up.
For sure.
Shake It Up, engineered by Fastenal, where industry meets innovation. For more info, fastenal.com. Let's talk about this new little wrinkle to the sport.
Hold on. Scott, hold on. That Fastenal thing we just showed with the vending machine, sometimes I feel like I need that in my garage because when my wife says something like, hey, you need to fix this, or I just need like a screwdriver, screws, nails.
Well, put your stuff back when you're done with it. Put your stuff back when you're done with it. Don't just lay it down when you're done with your screwdriver. You always know where it is.
But it'd be super cool if I could put it back in the vending machine. I could, like when you're at the airport and you're like B7 and the wrong one turns, right? So instead of a screwdriver, I get a hammer that would drop. Like that would be all. And then I got to try this again, right? Instead of the Doritos, you get the Funyuns and you're like, no, that's going to make my breath smell bad. Right? Anyway, these are the things I think about.
Not that wrench. I like it.
Yes. I didn't need the 3/8. I needed the 7/16.
Damn it. Well, those are real things. The Fastenal vending machines are super cool. It is a signature part of the company, and we love them. Okay, so let's talk about MLB umpires that can now request real-time feedback on ball strike calls during the upcoming season, and that includes the postseason as well. They'll be able to practice this in spring training. So here's the deal, because there actually has been some confusion. I have heard some people that know the game that think that an umpire can look at a pitch and be like, oops, I don't know if I got that one. And they can ask, and then it's almost like an umpire's challenge. Nope, that's not what this is. This is real-time feedback in between innings. So in between innings, when you got a break, the umpire can go on his little walkie-talkie and be like, hey, on that 2-2 to Judge and I rung him up, was I wrong? And they'd be like, yup, you were wrong. as usual, judge's zone is actually not that large. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll make sure I try and make that better next time around. And also, if he gives me shit next AB, then I'll just take it. But that's really what's going to happen is you can ask every half inning to look back at any pitches. Now, you communicate that. You're not going to actually see it, but they'll just tell you like, oh, on that 2-2, yeah, you were wrong. That one missed on the ABS challenge system. So it doesn't affect anything in game. It's more to help you, I think, evolve, AJ, during the game when you're calling it as an umpire.
Yeah, I like this. And instead of a player having to run back to the iPad and say, told you that pitch was a strike last at bat, umpires can actually ask. And then they might imagine this, Scott and Eric, apologize. Man, I missed that call. I apologize. You should have challenged it. And yeah, I know, but you still rung me up, you crappy umpire. So I like this. I think it keeps everyone accountable and it helps umpires learn on the fly. I'm all for this, making the game better, making umpires better, and just making everybody happy.
Is it I never figured it out. Is it an actual communication system, or is it where they can talk to them, or do they, because they said they'll make a signal about a call and then they'll tell them. So it's not a direct umpire talking to somebody. Is it somebody talking to the umpire?
I can clarify all of this for you because I did a lot of nerdy work since I was hearing things that were wrong. So you can't do this during the game. This has to happen in a half inning. What you can do is you can do a quick alert like, hey, I'm going to want to check that pitch back. You can do that during the actual play, during games, right? When we're in play. That could cause a problem, and it was mentioned in this article, which included Evan Drellick and some others from The Athletic. I think Mitch Bannon on there, our new host on Bluebird Territory. But imagine if you're doing that and you're like, hey, bank that. I want to bring that up during the half inning and see if it was a ball or strike. What if someone hears you and they're like, wait, so you weren't confident about that pitch? So they did mention that in the article because they're not going to tell you that until the half inning. What it does is it could speed up the process. Let's say they wanted to look at 3 pitches during that half inning or have the person they're communicating with, right? The operator. So Kratz, the operator's not going to talk to them. They would call for this and be like, hey, it's the middle of the 4th. I think I messed 1 or 2 up in the top of the 4th, or I just want to get clarification and make sure I was right. How did I do? Boop. They talk, they tell them. So that's the process.
Yeah, I know it's in between the half innings. My thought was when I read it, how I read it was a signal, So it'll be fun for me to watch different umpires and be like, oh, if he grabs the side of his mask, that's the signal he wants them to check that pitch, and then at the half inning, they'll give him the result of what that pitch was, because I love watching different intricacies. Brian Honora, after every pitch, he shifts his chest protector and he does something with his chest protector every single time. Vic Carapazzo doesn't move at all until it's time for strike 3, and he's the one who's actually in that picture there. So I love watching that kind of stuff, but I want to see the little tick, like if they go check, because
no, they're not doing that. It's tech. So there'll be some tech that they have. So they'll hit the tech. But you're saying you'll look for them to like hit their belt buckle and be like,
is it
did you
belt
press
buckle?
to try and get that?
That's what I mean. It's something.
It's not going to be like a sign. It's not going to be a sign for that someone's watching them on there. It'll be some button that they hit and they want them to review.
And I want to see it.
Right.
And I want to see it.
But isn't it going to be subtle? So if you're catching, I mean, are you going to see the umpire trying to subtly just?
Oh, I'm not. As I'm catching, I'm saying the bench will see it. Like, yeah,
that's true.
There's an umpire that doesn't use the clicker. He has hair bands on his hand, and he pulls them to the one finger when it's 2 strikes, when it's 3 balls on the other hand. And that's how he does his ball count. Like, all that kind of stuff is interesting to me.
I think this will cause more fights and ejections. Why? Because, AJ, this gives the umpires ammo. They didn't have any ammo. And credit to MLB and PA, right, who both agreed we're doing all of these things, but we're not really giving the umpires as much access during a game. We get to run, like you guys both said, to the dugout and check the tablets and see who was right and wrong. And we've seen sometimes guys get tossed after as they're screaming at the umpire or they talk to them the next AB. Umpire has a little revenge now too. If he gets a little shit from a player, he could be like, okay, I see you. that half inning, he checks and he's like, nope, I was right. And I don't know if an umpire is going to bring that up, but he's certainly going to have the ammo if someone says something to him. Be like, did you check that pitch? Did you check that 3-2 where you felt like you had ball 4? I got you, bro.
I disagree, Scott, because now that
Why?
there is no arguing anymore, because you know what the argument is? Tap your helmet if you don't like the call, and we'll challenge it, and we'll see it right there. So I don't think it's going to lead to any more ejections. I just think it's another tool to help the umpires improve, and I'm here when umpires get better.
Do you think that a catcher might be like, hey, next half inning, you should just check a few of your pitches?
Well, that might get somebody ejected. But again, they will say, challenge it if you don't like it.
That's the thing. Like they're not checking the egregious ones. The catchers are going to they're going to challenge the egregious ones. This is where the money is going to be made. That 50-50 ball. And when I say a 50-50 ball, it truly means that umpires call that pitch 50% of the time a ball, 50% of the time a strike. Who is right? Because now it's black and white now. There is no gray area. It is you were either right or you were wrong. And you can see the progression on the screen for the podcast. We have a progression of what umpire zones look like throughout, how they've changed since 2007 to 25. And 25, to me, it's interesting because there's different times when they've kind of implemented different like objectives. Hey, our objective starting 2025, which teams found out in spring training, I think it was, or maybe in the winter meetings, I forget, was, hey, we're going to call the tighter zone. We're going to call the actual zone. It shows over an entire year, it kind of shrunk on the sides a little bit. Back in 2000, I think it was 14 or 15, they said, hey, we're going to make an onus about not making the zone so wide and more top to bottom. Ironically, the four-seam fastball was really starting to get some life, pun intended. But it was something that it shows umpires overall can make adjustments. And players can make adjustments too, but it's such a cool graphic that we just showed.
There it is again. Yeah, 2007 was kind of brutal compared to what it looks like now in 2025. Look at that chunky amoeba in 2007, AJ, and now how neatly, if you're an OCD person, it looks.
It was called differently, though. So you can say, people are like, oh, they sucked in 2007, but that was the strike zone that we were given. Players make adjustments. Talk to any player, they'll adjust to what's being called, right? And it's gotten tighter because we've gotten better technology. And over the years, the technology has gotten better and better, and so have the umpires, and so have the hitters. So, yeah, it's a natural evolution of what happens with technology and players and umpires.
And we can do a separate segment on this, but just to clarify for people, we're not losing the strike zone box on the games that have them. There will be a delay, though. They'll have I think it's a 9-second delay to put the game broadcast out so that they have some separation there so the players can't be sitting there and who knows. Is that, I guess, AJ, so that they don't have some system where someone's seeing it in real time and trying to tell someone to challenge it? Yes, even though you have to do an instant challenge, but so that someone doesn't like go like this and this is, oh, because they saw the sign from someone?
Yes. The
whistle, you don't think so,
whatever
Kratz?
It takes.
Yeah. I mean, it's I also watched the AAA game where the guy hesitated too long. He took one step across the plate and he was like, oh, it looked like he forgot that they had another challenge left because it was in extra innings, and he tapped on it and the umpire was like, nope, sorry. And there had already been like 6 challenges at that point in the game. So the umpire was having a pretty tough day.
I just want to conclude by saying that many people are underrating how fun this is going to be. We put stuff out there about this, and sometimes it gets love, but it doesn't get as many like views and clicks as I think, because I don't know if people realize how fun this is going to be. The pitch clock ended up being a big success for most people that wanted to speed the game up. This is going to add a wrinkle inside the game that I think is going to be super fun, especially for the in-game experience. If you're a fan and you think you got it, or you're just pissed about a call, and then the place is going to go freaking crazy. Just like, AJ, you're a big football fan where somebody, where the coach throws a red flag and fans freak out. So they're like, challenge that.
We'll see. We'll see. I can't wait to see it in action, though. I'm excited to see this.
I'm glad it's by
Agreed.
the players and not by the coaches or some replay guy. I honestly, when they first came out with replays, I thought it should be the players. And then you have more challenges, but the players should challenge it. I would love to see it because there's so many dudes who are like, oh, check that. We kept a stat the one year. How many times one person, I won't say his name, said check that and he was wrong. And it got like 6 or 7. You'd all of a sudden be like, hey, you're not allowed to challenge. If he challenges something, you're not allowed to challenge. And I think the same thing's going to happen with the strike zone.
It's going to be fun. We'll keep talking about it. We'll keep asking players about it too. Thanks to Fastenal for sponsoring the segment. Industrial supplies, innovative solutions. Want to learn more? Check out fastenal.com for more information.
Back here on Foul Territory with Cade Smith, Guardians closer extraordinaire. What's it like? First of all, before we get into spring, because I hate just jumping into spring training. University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Manoa.
That's not even the University of Hawaii in Honolulu. How does a Canadian run into, or is that Honolulu?
It is in Honolulu.
That is the Honolulu one?
So they have a couple different campuses around the islands. So Manoa is the one that's just outside Honolulu.
Okay, because I played at the University of Hawaii, the main one, the rainbow one. The rainbow.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
That's the one you went to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you got to follow my footsteps.
I guess so.
Now, granted, you weren't even born when I played there. I played there in 1997 in the Winter League. They had a Hawaii Winter League.
Yep.
But how does a Canadian end up at the University of Hawaii?
Yeah. There was a guy that I played high school baseball with who was a year older than me. He ended up going there before I did. So there was a little bit of a precedent there already. And then I went to the Tournament 12 in Toronto, which is this big tournament that the Jays put on for all sorts of Canadian baseball players coming up. And that's where the Hawaii coach saw me pitch there and then had me out for a visit. And not too long after that, I was
If you're
signed.
from Canada and you go to Hawaii, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's automatic, right?
Well, I mean, I knew that I wanted to be somewhere that you could be year-round outside. I had enough of the rain and the indoors, batting cages thrown into a net and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I was looking for going to college.
You know, when I played for the Bananas last year, I caught a kid that went to Hawaii. Also.
Really?
Arch daddy. I forgot his name. I just blanked on his last name. But he pitched at Hawaii. And then I played with Colton
Very
Long,
cool.
who obviously is a Rainbow Warrior legend forever. But I won a title there too, so it's okay. We have that in common, okay? When you grew up in Canada, how do you get into baseball? I know the Blue Jays were popular, or are now they're more popular probably than ever. But when you grow up in Canada, how do you end up getting into baseball when it's so hockey prevalent and it's hockey?
Yeah. So both my parents played college basketball. My dad grew up just outside Toronto, so he was a fan of the Jays, and then moved to just outside Vancouver. And so they also are both PE teachers, and they emphasize just playing sports and trying them. So I played basketball and volleyball. I did a little bit of track and field, and I played baseball. Really, I played multiple sports all the way up until my senior year of high school. And so it happened to be baseball was one that I loved. It was also the one that I had the most potential in to develop and progress to the next level.
Who was your guy? Who was your guy that you followed that you were like, I kind of like that? Or were you not a big baseball fan while you were growing up?
I would say that I had other interests than just watching sports all day, but my dad would always tell me to watch Roy Halladay and the way he pitched.
You pitch nothing like Roy.
No, I know.
You're as big as Roy was, but Roy was more of like a sinker, curveball, little cutter. You're just like rear back. Here comes a four-seamer.
But that was also before I had really developed my strengths and understood that and stepped into my own. It was just more so hearing the stories of how diligent he was with his work ethic and how disciplined he was and things like that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Kratz? I think Kratz. Did you play with him in Philly?
I played with him in Toronto. Well, coming up through the Blue Jays, and then played with him in Philly for 3 years. And you're 100% like very, very humble and like he just assumed everybody was going to work just as hard as he did, and nobody ever got to that point. People say that about people, but I watched it and he lived it out. Like he was diligent in his work like crazy. It It was awesome to see.
Are you playing WBC?
No.
You turned down Canada?
Yeah, I did.
You had to, or did you?
No. It was my decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what goes into that? Because Freddie Freeman also turned down Canada, right? So
Yeah.
what goes into that decision of I'm not going to play? And you did it before, so it's not like it's just your first one.
No, in 23, it was a phenomenal experience. Like that was my first experience pitching in major league stadiums in front of sold out crowds in that kind of environment, and I had so much fun and enjoyed that. So just this year being at kind of where things are contextually, I didn't feel that it was wise for me to take that time away, and so I wanted to make sure that I was here and completely present and focused on the year coming up.
Talk about being a guardian, because when I was in the organization in 2017, they had a very strict protocol on relievers. You would play high A, and then you would finish the season in double A for a whole season, and finish the season in triple A. Did you appreciate the slow trudge, or because your path went a little quicker than some other guys, do you think it was something that maybe I could have gone faster?
No, I think the timing was perfect in its own way, because when I came in this organization, like I was 88 to 92. I didn't have very good off-speed pitches. I had maybe topped out at 94, and I didn't know my strengths. Didn't know how to pitch. Didn't know how to like try and read hitters and work to my strengths in that regard. And so every subsequent season I was learning something. I was developing something. I was building on that foundation that I have been, working with the staff here and trying to take advantage of the resources they provide and dig in and just continue to build and build and build. So it never felt like it was slow or like I was stuck or should have been moving on. For me, the whole way I viewed it was, this is where I am because there's something that I need to learn and work on in order for me to move to the next level and stick.
The Guardians have proven that they can create starting pitchers, but obviously you're a reliever. At what point did you know? At what point were you in high A, double A? Were you like, dang, like, I think I get what they're saying, and I think this is going to be dominant in the big leagues? Because you have only dominated since you've been up in the big leagues.
It was probably, I would say that it was probably when I was in AAA. There was an adjustment period when I got there, but then there was a stretch down the end of the year where I was starting to see things coming together, and I was starting to pitch and feel like I was, understanding that I have a complete arsenal and how to use it and to really work with my strengths and also complement them with my other pitches and roll from there.
When you start figuring it out, you come up to the big leagues and you have an incredible rookie season in 24, right? I mean, under a 2 ERA, way more strikeouts and innings pitched, and everyone's talking about you. You go in the postseason, you dominate, you get to become a legitimate person that people talk about, and they say, oh no, we don't want to get to Cade Smith coming into the game in the 7th or 8th inning because you had Clase behind you. Stuff happened with Clase, then you get thrown to the closer's role. How do you just jump from a 7th, 8th inning guy to, oh my gosh, I have to get the last 3 outs of a game?
I think that the biggest thing comes down to my faith. My identity is not in how I perform or what I do. That's temporary. That's going to be taken from me at some point, whether I want it to be or not. And so it really is, that's the thing that I'm going to be anchored on. That's the thing that I am stable in and steady in. And when I pitch, I get to go out there and just compete and have fun. So regardless of the context there, sure, there was an adjustment. Yes, it's a different situation. There's a different energy in the ballpark, but it's fun, and it's an opportunity that I got to pitch in last year that I'm grateful for. And so I'm going to make sure I'm doing everything I can before the game, after the game, between the next game, during the off season to prepare and put myself in the best position to step up and fulfill that responsibility if the phone rings and my name is called.
Explain that, because you were a rookie. Explain, your faith and what the feeling that you have, because you were a rookie in some of the biggest spots, and it was like, loo, get Cade up, like he's coming in the playoffs. Yes, we're talking about closer and regular season now on a consistent basis, but in the playoffs, tell us how your heartbeat was rolling and tell us like the enjoyment. Because on the mound, it looks like you're just like, that was cool. That was a fun game. Thanks for letting me play, guys.
No, there's no doubt. It is so much fun. And the anticipation, that's a very real thing. Like that energy builds in the bullpen as we're watching the game and how things progress. Like everyone's aware of what's going on, and it's a close game. It's just back and forth. It's gritty. Like we're bought in. We're completely aware of what's going on there. But that was one of the big lessons I took from the WBC in 2023 was going into pitch for the first time in a sold out stadium and looking back on it and being like, oh, that was fun. Like I enjoyed that. Like there's no part of me that was like, that was awful. I never want to do that again. But it was seeing that actually, for whatever reason, there is something in me that thinks it's fun to be in those situations. And so I enjoy that and I look forward to it. And it's really, I think, as simple as that I enjoy it.
Are you going to have a walkout song or walkout theatrical performance?
I think that's up to the media team how they want to do that. That's not what I know how to do. But yeah, there will be a song.
You have some choice. You get to pick
for
a
sure.
They're not going to run you out there to some.
But I'm not going to go make the video myself.
No, not make the video, but you get to pick the song, right? And then right now it's what, Fire It Up?
Yep.
You're going to stick with that, right?
I think I'm going to switch it.
You're going to switch?
Yeah, I think so.
Breaking news too?
Not sure yet. So,
Dang, I thought we had something there. I guess
you have to show up in person.
Well, I've been done a lot of Guardians games the last few years because you guys have been good. So I've been there for a bunch. Had many meetings with Tito before Voter got there. Now I just sit there and listen to Voter talk for like 20 minutes. He fires me up.
He does have a knack for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite walkout of the other closers in the league?
Active?
Oh,
Well,
active
all time.
or past?
I think that I like Helsley walking out to Hell's Bells.
Yeah, but see, you stole that. You can't. It doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work.
No?
Because that was Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah, I know.
So you can't. I get it, but you got to go Highway to Hell. There's got to be another song with hell in it besides Hell's Bells. We just can't go.
Okay.
I told him that too when we had him on. I'm like, Ryan, I love you, but you can't steal Trevor Hoffman's.
Sure.
And it's iconic. He's in the Hall of Fame, 600 saves. So he laughed and he still went with it.
He still went with
clearly didn't listen to me very well.
Yeah. All right, Cade, I got one last one for you. You guys still do the beep test in spring training?
Mm-hmm. No, we don't.
Okay. No, you don't do it?
No, we don't do it.
Did you ever do it when you were a minor leaguer?
I did it in high school. That was the last time.
Okay.
What's the beep? I don't even know what the beep test is.
Terrible question. They used to do the beep test in spring training, and basically you have to get to the end point and back before it beeps twice. Anyway, it was a big Guardians when I played for them. It was an Indians thing. So terrible question, doesn't apply anymore. I figured you would have won because pitchers usually competed for it.
And then they shortened the time between beeps, so you got to be running faster and faster and faster.
Oh, no, we don't have. I never had that, so I never even ran a 60 when I was playing. So I one of the funniest. Like I thought beep test was like to check your hearing.
No.
Okay, all right. All right. I had no idea. All right, before I let you go, I got to ask you this. Zabrowski is here. He's Canadian born, and he's a giant like you. What the hell are y'all putting in your water?
I don't
Canada.
know. Well, there's been comments that we might switch our bullpen into an offensive line or something soon. So,
I mean, every Canadian. I'm looking at a list of active Canadians. They're all gigantic. So what? I mean, besides you and Zabrowski, and then Quantrill's big. Romano's a big guy. Pavetta's a big guy. Brash is a big guy.
I don't know about
you guys are all only pitchers. So I mean, you have Naylor, right? So he's the token position player in the Canadian group. Everyone else is just gigantic pitchers.
Yeah, I can't speak to them, but I drank a lot of milk growing up,
Okay.
so maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's
Cade.
I'm gonna have
Cade,
to
last one.
that.
You and I, this is the first guest we've ever had on the show that we're starting our 4th season here in March. You and I are the only two that have ever been on the same show that went to a Mennonite high school. I went to a Mennonite high school in Pennsylvania, Christopher Dock Mennonite High School. You went to a Mennonite high school clearly farther away in BC.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Let's
Yeah,
watch.
no school dances at those Mennonite high schools.
There was no
So
school.
wait, you're
they
Amish
have
like
it
Kratz?
off-site.
You're Amish like Kratz, dude? Did you have a horse and buggy growing up like Kratz does?
Totally different.
No.
Totally.
I know. We always give Kratz because he's from rural Pennsylvania where there's a lot of Amish. And
When I told my wife that when we were dating, she was like, told her parents, I think he might be Amish. But no, I'm not. So.
Okay. That's good. But you're faith-based, and we love that. So all the best. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
And I can't wait to see what song you pick and what entrance that you choose yourself when you come out to the mound.
Thank you, AJ.
Get excited for this season preview on the Cleveland Guardians. What we do is we make sure you're caught up on what they did in the offseason, and then we spin it forward to see what the projections say about the 2026 campaign for Cleveland. So first of all, this isn't going to take long. They added 3 arms. Sean Armstrong, who they gave some solid money to on a 1-year contract. Colin Holderman brought over, and Connor Brogdon. And guys, those 3 I'm sure will turn into studs. I mean, some of them had good times in their career already, but we know what Cleveland does with these types of signings. On the other side, losses include Shaden Bieber, midseason last year, and Lane Thomas isn't part of the mix for 2026. Jacob Junis, Will Brennan, Sam Hentges, and John Kenzie Noel's been bouncing around a little bit too. So those guys are out, but primarily, AJ, they are running it back.
Why not? They made the playoffs. Why not? Why not run it back?
Well, they didn't
Why not?
win it all.
They don't have a lot of
You
money to
want one
spend, and they
offensive
love their.
piece for a
but
team
they-
that ranked
yeah, but-
towards the bottom.
They're counting
offense.
on their young guys to take another step. Remember when we had Mike Chernoff on? What'd he say? We're young. We know we're going to be young, and we're leaning into it. And the younger we got, the better we got. So they're hoping those young guys take another step and continue to grow. By the way, sorry, it's freezing and it's raining here. So I am also in the rain because Mark doesn't know how to put a tent up. So I am getting wet as we speak. So that's just my Cleveland Guardians season preview. Is they're running it back because they're young and they expect them to take the next step. And they're in the division, the AL Central, where that can work.
I mean, it can work because they have good pitching, but you're looking at the Guardians' projected lineup right here. When your 5th hitter has an NA on it, he means you're counting on somebody from the minor leagues to step up and be your protection behind Jose Ramirez, who might hit second, might hit third, but Kyle Manzardo is a solid player. To me, I always look at the Guardians and I think back to the Edwin Encarnacion signing. They went out, they got him. I think it was 3 years, 20 a year, so 3 years, 60. And was Edwin Encarnacion the most athletic person, the most versatile person, No, he was a dude that was going to come in and give you meaningful at-bats and be an aircraft carrier behind Francisco Lindor, behind Lonnie Chisenhall, Jan Gomes. Like, they already had guys in that lineup that were going to carry the weight, and then they added Edwin. That was going to be my question to Mike Chernoff if I had a chance. Like, is there a time? What's the magic bullet? Or what's the, do they have to get a lottery pick out and go, oh, this is the year we get to spend it? Because I think there are a lot of good young pieces to this, and their value is in their pitching. But this lineup was abysmal last year at scoring runs. And are they going to be abysmal again? What makes me think otherwise? You have an MVP candidate in Jose Ramirez, and you have a bunch of other guys who 2 years ago, they had a huge jump in their slug, which nobody saw coming, and it dropped back down to earth. So to me, that's where the adjustment needs to be made for them. Could they have made a big acquisition? No, I guess financially not. But at what time can they do that?
Sometimes we say the team is built around one player in the lineup, and if he goes down, they're in trouble. We've talked about this with guys like Judge. Is there a team that's more leveraged with the Jose Ramirez, do your top 3 or top 5 MVP thing, AJ? I mean,
no,
they need him to be a superstar every year.
He's-
Like superstar, though.
he's
He can't drop
literally-
off at all.
I mean,
He
you
has to
could
be
throw,
up there.
I'll actually say this. You could throw Judge in there too. For me, you you could throw Aaron Judge for the Yankees. If he gets hurt or has a down year, that's going to be a big thing for the Yankees. But yes, Jose Ramirez and Aaron Judge, off the top of my head, are the two that mean more to their organization than most.
Here's where things get interesting. So we'll start with the Fangraphs projections on the win totals, and we'll go in order here so you can see where they put them. They have the Tigers at the top, and here's their own win-loss, just 75.8 from Fangraphs. We've gone over the BetMGM number, which is 80.5 wins. So BetMGM thinks they'll be a little better than what Fangraphs has them at. And I agree with BetMGM here over Fangraphs, but we can put it next to the rest of the teams in the division. I can make an easy flip right here. I'm whatever, call me biased. I don't see it. Exactly. We all feel that way on Fangraphs. Move the Twins down. And BetMGM has them lower than that. But 78.6 is where Fangraphs has the Twins a few games ahead of the Guardians. No thanks. Guardians won the division last year. That part should be shocking alone, AJ. The Tigers did some things, right? They added their rotation. They have Fromber in there to hopefully be a 1-2 punch for them with Skubal and Fromber. They added Verlander towards the back end here to kind of fill the Reese Olson void that is placed there when he goes down for the season with the shoulder surgery. But then it's the Royals, the Twins, the Guardians, the White Sox. Do you think the Guardians are only going to be a 76-win fourth-place team?
No. I will never bet against Stephen Vogt, and I'll never bet against what the Guardians have been able to do. How they do it, I have no idea, but they get it done every single year, and they do it right. They believe in pitching and defense and timely hitting. And they've done it for, what did Mike Chernoff say? They made the playoffs 7 of the last 10 years. So how can you say they're going to win 76 games when, like you said, Scott, they won the division last year? I think that number's low. I think the White Sox number's low. I think the Twins number's too high. The Royals, you can say, is about right. And then the Tigers are, they're the favorites. So the numbers you can manipulate a little bit, but I'm not betting against the Guardians.
I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're enough of a playoff team in this division. I think I'd flip-flop the Twins and the Guardians. I think the Royals are going to give the Tigers the biggest push this year. I think the Royals push to make adjustments. I think they're going to be advantage Jack Caglione. I think he's going to make the next step. I think moving the fences in could hurt them and help them a little bit. I think it'll be net zero because both teams get to play on the same fences. But I truly think this Guardians team, I don't think they did enough. And I think it took an act of God for them to be able to make it to the playoffs last year and win the division. And so they would need to do that again.
It took an act of the Tigers collapsing. Tigers still made it, and then you also had other collapses. I mean, Houston fell out of the mix.
Too much has to go wrong for other teams, and I don't think the Tigers will have that happen again. I think they've clearly pushed in areas that I think they should have added more offense, but we'll talk about that when we do the Tigers season. But I think this division has gotten better, and I don't think the Guardians have done enough.
Okay, good talk. That's your season preview. We will do many more season previews from those camps, AJ, in Guardians camp. Let's slap. Big night for AJ. I'm getting you out of here in a minute so you can rest up. Hit the town, downtown Phoenix, Playmakers Classic, AJ and Alana. Oh, you weren't here when we were pumping it before, but it is tonight. We've been talking about it for a while. We'll see some people that watch the show, that pop up, that bought a ticket, that get to hang with players, eat good food, drink good drinks, and watch some entertaining music performances, as well as play some casino games and get a sneak peek or actually a first row seat if you want it, to AJ and Alana doing some interviews with players. Expected to be a huge, huge turnout as always.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm probably going to Uber tonight because Mark wouldn't drive me, and Michael can't drive. So I'm going to have to Uber tonight because I might have a beer or two sitting there, and I'm okay with that. But Mark I'm looking forward to this, meeting the players, seeing the people that are out there. The auction is always cool. They have some great items, and it's a great just thing for charity. And if you're in the Phoenix area and you have free night tonight, come on out to the Playmakers Classic, and you're going to get to meet some big league baseball players that are there on their own time, and they're there to have fun, and they'll take pictures and they'll sign autographs. It's just going to be a blast. So tune in. Also.
It is. Yeah, we'll be live streaming it. So join us tonight. I know some of you watch this show after work and aren't able to join us often during the live show. Tonight's your night. We'll be live with AJ and Alana. I'll be in the chat the entire time. Kratz will be watching on a plane. Kratz Hatz on the way out.
It's very self-explanatory. How to wear my Guardians gear when we're at Guardians camp.
It's a great hat. It's a cool logo. May Day on the FT network right now. We'll flip you right over to it. It's on the FT YouTube channel. See you tonight on the live stream.